Hi guys, so it's time that the Clio needs some new brake pads. So EBC have very kindly sent us a pack of blue and a pack of yellow to change them, and I'm going to give it a go under strict instructions from my dad. So let's see how we get on. So after liaising with EBC Brakes, they have sent us blues for the front. So these are thicker pads with the Clio being front wheel drive, so we need that stopping power on the front wheels. And they have sent us yellows for the rear. So I say the rears don't really need it too much, the wheels don't really get too hot, so these should do the job perfectly. So huge thank you to EBC Brakes for sending these out, so let's get them fitted. So first thing on the job is loosening the bolt on the front brake. We've already got the wheel off and everything like that. This is a two-man job. So then we can just lift the caliper out and get the original brake pads out. So you can see they're not too worn actually on these, but we're just going to get some fresh brakes in for these track days because they've started to chip. We then just test the new ones fit in like so, and then we've just got to move back the piston. So all I'm going to say is don't do this normally like this. There is a tool that you can get, but you know, DIY.
And that's springing now because it's on them springs.
Ah, okay.
Where they weren't on the other shoes.
Yeah.
So what that'll do, it stops them chattering.
Ah, okay. So
that's what the spring's for. So it's yeah.
And then it's just getting the bolt
back in.
So once the caliper's back down, we can put the bolt in, tighten it up so it's just back like it was, but with some new brake pads in. And just to check that the pads aren't on too tight and they're not going to bond with the disc, we're just going to use a bar like this just to check that the disc moves. And then all that's left for the front is to get the wheel back on. And there we have it, the blue pads on the front. So it's a quick hot chocolate break because it's freezing. And then the doggies, of course, came to say hello. Onto the rear, of course, starting off with getting the wheel off. Now the backs are slightly different, so this one has what we call an R-type pin. So we pull that out first, and it's because it looks just like an R. Then the next job is just loosening out the brake pads that are already in there. They have little springs on these ones, so it's just getting them loose and pulling them out. So we just test that the yellow brake pads do fit in the rear nicely. And then what we've got to do just to make sure that it's pushed back is this one is a turn piston. So we're going to get a screwdriver just to turn the piston back round to where it needs to be. And keep trying until we get it in exactly the right place that they all fit. Now this can take a little bit of trial and error.
5 minutes later. 15 minutes later. 1 hour later.
Always one. It's always the last one as well. Causes all the problems.
2 hours later.
There we go, so they're fitting all nice and perfectly. So what's left to do is to put the pin back in across the two brake pads, like so, hitting it with a hammer because, you know, trusty hammer. And then just popping that R clip back in place to lock them all in. And that's the rear pads done, so all that's left to do is to put the wheel back on. And there we have it, some new brake pads, wheel ready, all ready for Cadwell, and of course got the EBC brake stickers there too. So we just need to torque them all up, but that's the brakes fitted. I did get my hands dirty a little bit, although Dad took over as he always does. but it's a great learning experience and really fun to actually get hands-on with the car I'm driving as well. So a huge thank you to EBC Brakes for sending out the brake pads. I'm excited to test them out at Cadwell next week, so stay tuned to see how we get on. But for now, you guys know the drill. To make my journey your journey, like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.